Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into something that, honestly, for decades felt almost like heresy in hip-hop. Vocal warm-ups for rappers.
Yeah, it really did. The sources we looked at make it super clear it was seen as soft, you know?
Right, like an admission you didn't just have it, that raw talent.
Exactly. Like the legends just rolled out of bed and boom, perfect delivery.
But things really shifted. I mean, the game got bigger, right? The stakes went way up.
And those tours became absolute marathons. Grueling.
And suddenly, that voice, that raw, supposed to be effortless voice, well, it started showing cracks. It turned out to be pretty fragile.
And what's fascinating in the source material is digging into why that whole perception began to change.
Uh-huh.
The original idea, that a rapper's voice is just talking, or maybe purely genetic, that just crashed hard against the physical reality of performing at a high level.
Right.
The sources really hammer this home. The rapper's voice isn't just speech. It's actually this incredibly complex instrument.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. The sources talk about it being, like, percussive.
Yeah,
big and melodic, and this powerful storytelling engine all at once.
All rolled into one.
And think about it, unlike a guitar you can put away or, a sampler you unplug, this thing is literally inside you. It's flesh and blood, lungs, vocal cords, the whole setup.
Precisely. And being internal like that makes it so vulnerable to just immense physical strain.
Yeah.
Especially performing.
Okay.
The sources get specific about the demands.
Yeah.
Really complex, super rapid-fire articulation.
Fast, really fast.
Yeah, and constantly pushing volume to cut through heavy beats, big production.
Right. Gotta be heard over that bass.
And just the sheer endurance needed night after night on tour, projecting like that. One source actually likened it to an athletic feat for your voice.
Wow.
Not just talking fast, but like controlled, high-intensity breath support, precise mouth movements. It puts serious stress on those tissues.
So, okay, what's the takeaway here? Looking at the sources, this deep dive shows that vocal warm-ups in hip-hop, they aren't about trying to sound like, I don't know, an opera singer.
No, not at all. It's not about making the voice pretty or fitting some classical idea.
So what is it then?
The material calls it a silent revolution. Silent, probably because it was happening backstage, kind of under the radar.
Ah, okay.
And it was focused squarely on preservation, performance consistency, and just having a longer career, frankly.
Longevity. Makes sense.
That's really the core of it. It's about helping artists get on stage and sound like themselves, authentically.
Right, their unique sound.
Even after grinding through, say, 20 shows in 20 cities. That was an example used.
That's intense.
It's a direct response to seeing so much burnout, so much vocal damage, sidelining people, or just fundamentally changing how they sounded.
Yeah, you hear about that.
The sources mention things like vocal fatigue, losing range or power, even getting nodes. Real threats the industry started having to face.
But there's a tension here, though. You feel it in the sources, this kind of valid fear.
Oh, definitely.
Does this move towards technique, towards vocal care? Does it accidentally sanitize hip-hop? Do you lose some of that raw edge, that grit, the imperfection that was, well, part of its power, its authenticity?
A debate you see mirrored,
Yeah.
actually, in stuff about auto-tune, right? That sparked huge controversy, too.
Totally. Is it a tool that enhances, opens up creativity?
As some sources argue.
Or does it mask skill and lead to everything sounding kind of the same, too polished?
Which others definitely feared.
Yeah.
The sources acknowledge that worry directly. Does that beautiful messiness, that comes from raw, untrained expression, does that get lost?
It's a good question. Ultimately, though, it feels like the sources taken together lean towards framing this differently.
How so?
Not as losing authenticity, but more like building a necessary toolkit for survival, for resilience in what's become a really high-pressure industry.
Right. It's a pragmatic thing.
Yeah.
Just recognizing, okay, the voice is a physical instrument. It's muscle.
Yeah.
And like any muscle you push to the extreme, it needs care, it needs prep, maintenance, less like rigid rules, more like informed self-preservation.
And one source raised a really compelling point about flipping that whole idea of authenticity.
Oh, yeah.
In a genre built on raw emotion, lived experience, maybe the real act of defiance isn't just burning out fast because you refuse to adapt physically.
Interesting angle.
Maybe the more authentic move is to strategically preserve your instrument, actually care for it.
So the story can keep being told.
Exactly. So your voice, your unique story, that essential hip-hop narrative can keep going, keep evolving, keep hitting hard for decades, not just a few years.
It certainly seems the shift, reading between the lines in the sources, is towards making sure the crucial voice endures.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The implication is maybe the real power move now is facing the physical reality of the art form and choosing to meet those demands actively, making sure the instrument stays strong enough to keep speaking truth, keep innovating.
Keep doing what it does best.
Keep dropping bombs, whatever the message is, for the long haul. Something for you, the listener, to think about next time you hear your favorite artists.